Welcome back, everyone. Today I want to be talking about this flies, as I've been doing quite a lot of fishing recently, and it's all been fairly successful. So I thought I'd share with you guys, not just fall on the floor, the flies that I've been using that have been quite successful recently for the Dullstroom winter season. And first off, I wanted to say is that wet flies have been far more successful for me than dry flies. Now, granted, I'm not the most skilled with dry flies, but for me, wet flies have just been more successful this season than dry flies. And I have tried both, so speaking from experience, and when it comes to that, I have been successful more so with beadhead wet flies like this, because the little bead, they sink down nicely, and that's what I've been catching a lot of trout on. And the reason for that is I think it's been nice and cold, so the fish have been active, but they haven't been surfacing for some reason. So you haven't been able to get a lot of dry flies on the surface and get them coming up to rise and inspect and then take the flies. Whereas with wet flies, they're going down to where the fish are more active, and they seem to be taking those flies more because it's in their sight line. And by using wet flies, I've found that your fishing period opens up a lot more. So I've caught fish all times of the day, whereas if I was using dry flies, I'd only be able to catch in either the early morning or the late afternoon when the fish were rising. Now, in that same manner of thought, I want to talk about the colours. So first off, recently, like that, a lot of orange with reflective flashing has been quite successful. And the reason I think for that is it's the trout spawning season. So they are thinking that's eggs, and male trout will traditionally eat other fish's eggs as its competition, and they don't want that. They want to have their own eggs, or their own fertilized eggs, rather than competitors. And same with females, they want their own eggs instead of the competition, because there's always competition for food. So orange has been quite successful. Again, something else that's been quite successful is that orange beadhead with black with blue flashing. And then also like your pinks and purples, sort of maroonish colours, like that has been quite successful as well. And it's rather interesting. The greens, which normally this time of year, because they stand out, would normally be successful, but they haven't. As I say, black, maroon and orange have been successful where normally you'd expect your brighter colours to be. So orange fits with that, but the fact that black and maroon has been successful has surprised me a little bit. I don't know why, but one thing I do know is if you guys are coming to do some fishing, make sure your flies have what we call, sorry, I'm just tangled, flashing. It's these little reflective ribbons here, these things, because those really seem to catch the fish's attention and force them to come and inspect the flies, and then they take them really nicely, which, as I can't explain why, but I do find it very interesting. And then also, so bead heads, very successful for me, and then also cone heads, so it's a little bit bigger weight in the shape of the cone, as the name suggests, and those seem to sink down a little bit faster. And what that leads to is, on the days where it's a little bit warmer or there's quite a lot of wind, so the fish aren't coming up to the surface as much, being able to get down faster, and also it just seems like the pattern the flies swim in. Because you've got to remember, even though they look fairly simple, the design of each fly will change the way they swim. And in the same manner as that, the size. So I'm going to show you guys. Just need to get them out of my fly box. There we go. So these two, if you look at them, are very similar patterns. The difference is the size, and generally this is what I would use generally for a river or for a dam if I'm trying to catch small fish, but recently, and when I say that I mean like the last 2 or 3 weeks, these larger sized flies have been more successful than the smaller ones. Again, not sure why, but they have. So I just wanted to share those few bits of information with you guys because I thought you would find it interesting, to say the least. And if any of you are coming to Dullstroom to do some fishing, that's what I would recommend, because that's what I've had a lot of success for. And also pink, I forgot to mention earlier, for some reason the combination of orange and pink has been deadly, and I've heard from a few people that bloodworms have worked. I haven't tested that, so I can't speak, but and in terms of general patterns, Wollybuggers, so beadhead or conehead Wollybuggers, with those colours that I've mentioned, similar to those flies that I've mentioned there. If you guys want, as I say, come to Dullstroom and do a lot of fishing, and you want to have some idea of what direction to go with your flies, that would be my recommendation, as that is what I have seen success with. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh.